Hey, what's up, everyone? It is Isaac or Average Bloom here. You can just call me Average. I got my buddy Romo or Rowan here again,
What up?
and we're doing what we've been doing. Gonna review the new Pokemon Pocket set that just came out. We are technically on it day one, although we probably could have gotten onto it last night, but hey, whatever. Who cares? We're here now. Um, we're just going to go into it, and real quick, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the last review, where instead of going over every individual card, we're going to be going over just the highlights or the things that we feel as though deserve a mention. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. Fuck that. We just want to get the hits. So
Yes,
starting
sir.
starting with the hits, we're just immediately going to go into Decidueye EX here. This card seems awesome. Two colorless energy, it's doing 100 snipe to something that has any damage on it. And then for two grass energy, it's doing 80. It's got 170 HP. It's a stage 2, but as we'll find out soon, that's not a problem anymore. Or at least it's not as much of a problem anymore. Thank fucking God. Um,
Yep.
what are your thoughts, bud?
The hunter snipe is really nice. Also, it's kind of cool that it's colorless energy because you can kind of splash it in, for certain decks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see what people end up doing with it, but guaranteed 80 is pretty nice. Good all around card. One retreat cost. So
Yeah. Yeah,
quite
I'm
nice.
excited with this. I think the thing that really has me excited is, like I kind of mentioned before with you, the idea of pairing this with something like Greninja, and then being able
Yeah.
to just like do 100 wherever you're wanting. You get to manipulate it. That sounds great.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, moving on from Decidueye, we're going to be hitting here to Serena. This card I think is sick. One of the uh, comparisons that we made when we were doing our early assessment going over the cards was that this seems similar to Meowscarada. Um, it's obviously different. Meowscarada is going to be a little bit bigger, has like less retreat cost. It's like more energy. There's like the obvious differences, but where the similarities kind of come in is that this is on average going to be doing about like 100, like 50, 100 or so damage. Meowscarada is doing like 60, but then against like the EXs, it's doing big hits, while this can also do some big hits. The other thing that's a big benefit for this card is there is a supporter that we will be seeing in a little bit. Can't remember what it's called. Can't remember the names. We'll get there eventually. But it fully heals this card, but you lose the energy. That's not much of a downside though when the attack is only a single energy. Like who cares if you lose that?
Yep. Yep. This card's pretty decent, honestly. The one energy for a potential 150 is pretty huge.
Mhm.
So if you're a coin flipper, this is the one for you.
Yeah, yeah, and there's more support also with a tool that's in this set that is specific for grass Pokemon. It seems like this could definitely be something.
Yep.
Moving on, we have Delmise EX. Now, we're not 100% positive on how great this card is going to be. So, don't use your pack points just yet and start crafting them immediately. But there's a possibility. The effect to this attack is very powerful. Being able to prevent your opponent's Pokemon from being able to retreat is very, very relevant. We've seen Arbok be played back in Genetic Apex early days, as being able to just corner the opponent's active Pokemon or be able to put them in a position that's just not favorable. So this is very powerful for the effect. It's a basic, it's got a good amount of HP, and there's definitely some grass support here also, like we've kind of mentioned. But 3 energy does seem a little bit steep. I don't know.
Yeah. 3 energy for the 80 is pretty steep. Decent effects. We'll see. I don't know where especially when we have the new Soul Galeo or whatever it's called,
Yeah, the Soul
having the
Galio.
Keldeo effect. Yeah,
Hmm.
Soul Galeo. Yeah. Kind of iffy.
Yeah, the effect could even actually be worse with some new cards. True, that is a thing. Um, After that, we're going to be looking at Tapu Bulu here, the last grass card that we're going to be given special mentions to. Um, This, I think, could arguably be better than the Delmise. It's doing a little bit more damage for the same amount of energy. The effect is obviously much less powerful. In fact, there's like a downside that could happen. But this being a one prize point, basic, big basic, that's doing pretty decent damage still, I feel like this could actually be playable as like a lead for some decks. Try and buy some time. This can also, it's a grass Pokemon. You can Erica it. There's the tool card. I can't think of what it's called. It's like Forest Cape or something like that. That makes this even bigger too. There's some positives for this, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I believe, isn't there a trainer that's for Tapu Bulu, or is that just the grass giant cape that I'm
Uh,
thinking of?
I think we're just thinking of the Grass Giant Cape. The trainer was
Okay.
for Serena and for Shiinotic, but
Oh, okay,
Shiinotic did
that's
not
right.
seem all
That's
that
right.
great.
No. Okay.
Well, moving on into the fires, immediately we have a very interesting card here with the Alolan Marowak. Um, this card, 2 retreat cost, stage 1, 110 HP, kind of like basic stats that we're seeing for like stage 1s and things. 3 energy, 2 fire, and a colorless, does 70x. So flip 2 coins, 70 for every heads. If you get at least 1 heads, then you're also burning. So realistically, you get 1 heads, this is doing about 90 damage. You get 2 heads, this is doing 160 damage because the burn 20. Um, this seems pretty interesting. This seems fun.
Yeah, this one could be really good. We'll see how good it is exactly, but it's very fun to say the least.
Yeah. The other thing about this is there's a supporter that we'll be seeing in a little bit. Can't remember what it's called. Again, we'll figure out names eventually. Um,
Yeah.
that allows you to accelerate fire energy onto your Alolan Marowak or onto your Turtonator. I want to say was the other one, right?
Yeah, Tornado, yep.
Cool, cool. Yeah, and that makes this a lot more realistic to be able to charge up, I would say. So
Yeah, agreed.
who knows? This could very well be played. We think that the Turtonator. We'll actually just go over it with the Turtonator since we're talking about it. This card seems a bit more playable though, at least as far as the supporter is concerned. When put that into context, um, doing 90 for 3, and then we just discard a fire is the only downside. I mean, turn 1, you use the supporter, immediately attach 2 fire energy onto this, your turn ends, and then next turn you attach, immediately doing 90 each turn. That seems pretty solid. That can just run some people out of the game.
Yeah, yeah. With that supporter card, this card might actually be legitimately really good.
Hmm. And it's got
Very
120
solid.
HP for a basic. That's kind of fat.
Yeah, it is.
Like you put a giant cape on that's 140 HP. I mean, the retreat cost is awful, but like whatever. You're wanting to attack with this thing realistically anyway, so
Hey, it's sitting out there till it dies, baby.
exactly, exactly. And it's only 1 price point, so that's super fair.
Yep.
Um, After that, we're gonna be looking at Incineroar. This card seems. I think this card could be good. It's probably not going to be as strong as some of the other Fire Stage 2s that we have. Looking at you, Charizard. Um, but I think that this is still a solid card. This could definitely be played. Um, First attack, just a fire energy, 30 damage, and then the active is now burned. Not bad. So realistically, it's 50 damage for a single energy. That's like pretty good, damage to energy ratio, I would say. And then after that, 3 energy, 2 colorless or 2 fire in a colorless, 80 damage. And then if there's any damage on this guy, we're doing 140 damage total. That seems pretty solid. You combine this with like red against EXs, you're doing 160 damage. And this can also charge itself pretty easily as far as the getting the damage on it, because both the stage 1 and the basic have attacks where they do 10 damage to themselves. So you can actually have this second attack be pretty reasonably charged up.
Yeah, I think Incineroar has potential. I don't know exactly where he'll fit in the meta, especially compared to the other fire attackers, but
Hmm.
he's got potential
Yeah.
for sure.
Um, and then that's the last fire Pokemon really. I mean, we can give a little mention to Salazzle because I guess giving poison and burn is kind of neat, but doesn't seem all that great.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fun.
yeah, it's just like a fun one. You want to have some fun, do it. After
Yeah.
that, moving into the water Pokemon, we have Primarina here. This one, the attack is kind of whatever. Surf, 60 damage, 2 energy, whatever. Greninja has basically this attack. I think it's actually exactly this attack. Um,
Yep.
it might not be called Surf. I think it's called Surf. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the ability is very intriguing. Once during your turn, heal 30 damage from all of your water Pokemon, not just the active one, or it's all of them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. 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 This one I could see get some play for sure.
Especially when we have it combined with this one, Crabominable. This card seems very playable. I was kind of comparing this to Executor, but without RNG. It's 3 retreat costs, 160 HP, so it's like a little bit less fat compared to Executor, but 1 energy, 40 damage, and then the next turn, it's doing 40 more damage. So it does 40 that first turn, and then every turn after that, you're doing 80 damage. That's like, Executor, that first turn, you hit a tails, and then every turn after that, you're hitting heads. That sounds pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think it has all of the qualities of Executor, but you're consistently hitting the 80 instead of having to flip for it. So I think this is going to be pretty good.
Plus, there's a bunch of ways to be able to keep this around. Like we just discussed the Primarina, which can heal it.
Yeah.
Irida
Yep.
is a card that was printed that heals this. Potion
There's so much heal
exists.
for water.
Yeah,
There's so
literally.
much.
Giant Cape, then this thing has 180. Like you could probably make this thing damn near immortal.
Yep.
Maybe you even go all in and you also play the Wigglytuff, and then you're like healing 30 and healing like 20, so it's like heal 50 just from abilities. I don't know. Maybe I'm a madman, but get me in the kitchen. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
After that, Wishy Washy EX. I'm excited to try and play this. I think that this could actually be good. Um, it is 30 damage for 3 energy, kind of whatever, obviously shit, but 40 more damage for each of your benched Wishy Washy and Wishy Washy EX. So this can do up to 150 damage. We're gonna go on ahead and do a little bit of a spoiler real quick, but part of the reason why I think this could be playable, obviously you need to have like both Wishy Washy and then the other Wishy Washy EX, and if one of them gets knocked out, oh, you lose out on damage forever, right? Not necessarily. There's a trainer fishing net here. Put a random basic water Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. So let's say they have the Hitmonlee, they go and they KO your Wishy Washy with the 30 HP. Well, you can still get all of your damage back. I think that this could be played. I don't know. What's your take?
Yeah, this one actually um looks pretty playable, to be 100% honest, especially with that trainer card. This one seems pretty fun actually. This could be another, 16 trainer type of dealio.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just play the 2 Wishy Washy and the 2 Wishy Washy EX only Pokemon. That way you're always starting off with preferably the Wishy Washy EX, obviously, but you're always gonna have a Wishy Washy. Um, you play like the 2 Pokeball, you play the Professor's Research, you play probably like max out on Iono, so you can just like try and get Pokemon as often as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems like this could be a deck. I don't know if it'll be a meta deck, but this is a deck.
Yep.
Um, After that, I guess we mentioned Araquanid for a second just because there's a supporter card that's revolved around it. But to be honest, this card's not really that great. 3 energy, 60, and then if the active Pokemon is a basic, it's 60 more. That's like cool on paper, but I mean, I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot more evolutions in this meta. Um, I don't know. I don't think this is it, Chief.
Nah, it could be fun, but that's about as fun as it's gonna get. Is maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
Is like yeah. And it's going to be entirely based on the power of what the supporter card is, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah.
Um Pyukumuku. This card does seem good though. This seems like a very solid lead for a lot of water decks. Single
Yep.
energy, 20 damage. It's got 60 HP, one retreat. Kind of basic, whatever stats. The ability, though, if this has been knocked out by damage, if this is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, do 50 damage to that attacking Pokemon. That's pretty good, I would say. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is a fun little starter Pokemon for sure.
Like
It
I'm.
has. I don't know where it fits in exactly because we already have Dredagon that you can splash in other things, but this is easier to retreat. It's a water
Mhm,
type, but
mhm,
you're not really using it for the water type, so you could just kind of put it in whatever deck. I don't
mhm.
know. It's fun.
Yeah, I think that this is pretty cool. I keep thinking like if you go attack for 20 and then they go in just one shot, then that's like still 70 damage that you've got onto them. That's not bad. But if it like lives an attack or two, then like if this does, I feel like if this gets like two attacks in and then they KO it, like that's like more than you could ever ask for.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, Moving on into the electric Pokemon, we immediately have a pretty cool one here, a Alolan Raichu EX. It's nice that we're finally getting a Raichu EX instead of a Pikachu EX. It's first off, that's cool. Um, Secondly, this card is sick. 140 HP, one retreat cost, pretty decent stats for stage one. Big thing though is for three colorless energy, you're doing 60 damage and then 30 more damage for every energy on that opponent's active Pokemon. So if they have two energy on it, you're doing 120 for three colorless. If they got three energy, you're doing 150 for three colorless. The fact that this is a colorless attacker, I know I keep on putting a little emphasis on the colorless, but that is big. This can just be splashed into anything.
Yeah, the splashability of this, the versatility of this card, and the fact that it's probably gonna hit for some big damage is really good. This card has a lot of potential.
Yeah, like on average, I feel like this is probably just going to be doing like in that 120 to 150 range. But like imagine the worlds where like you're doing like 150, 180.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you go against a Giratina, you just one shot the Giratina. Sounds pretty good. I don't know. I don't know.
yep,
Moving on, we then have Vikavolt. This card seems pretty sweet too. 140 HP stage 2. It's got a single retreat cost. Not bad. We take those stats. Um, the attack 2 electric energy, disconnect does 70 damage, and then during the opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. The other thing that makes this good is that there is a supporter in this set that also supports specifically Vikavolt and a couple other Pokemon. The Alolan Golem, which is irrelevant. That card is whatever. And then the Togedemaru, which we'll go over in a second too. But this being able to do a decent amount of damage for a low energy cost and then item lock seems pretty solid. What's your take, Rowan?
yeah. This card, I think, could see play. We are getting more and more usable item cards,
Hmm.
and some decks like the 16 trainer, 18 trainer decks would be absolutely destroyed by a card like this.
Yeah, they'd just be in shambles.
So yeah, this definitely has potential depending on how popular those kind of decks become.
Yeah. And then the supporter allows this guy to do 30 more damage, and so this jumping from
Yep,
70 to 100 damage is pretty relevant. That lets you
that's
hit some
solid.
pretty good breakpoints.
Yep.
So yeah, this is one to keep an eye on, maybe test out. After that, we got Oricorio. This card is incredible. Um, I think that
Yep.
there is an argument to be made that this is at least this is definitely one of. There's an argument to be made that this could be the best Pokemon in the set. Um, I don't know if it's that far, but I do think that this is definitely one of the best Pokemon in this whole set. Uh, the ability is just so crazy. Being able to just not take any damage from your opponent's Pokemon EX. This is this is an ability that cannot be understated. This is something that in the regular TCG is very relevant, and entire decks are created around this type of effect.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
fact.
agreed. It,
Mhm.
It's just so solid. You can splash this in anything as a staller. You can use it as a decent attacker for 50. This
Hmm.
card is going to absolutely change the meta. This is a huge card.
Yeah. This is very relevant. This is something to definitely have on your watch list. Yeah, pay attention to this card. You might be running into it a lot. Togedemaru. We kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier. Pretty basic. In fact, it's literally a basic. 70 HP, 1 retreat cost, 20 damage for a single energy, but flip a coin does 30 more. And like we mentioned, the supporter card that allows you to do 30 more damage with the Vikavolt, it affects this guy too. So, for a single energy, you could do 50 up to 80 damage. Doesn't seem awful. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be too great though.
No, I agree. I think it's just another one of your basics that you know it does a little bit of something, but there's no play. There's no shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you're trying to get a more aggressive attacker, like trying to get that like sort of 50 damage in early, you're just better off trying to play like Skarmory or playing even the Rotom that has the same effect. I think the Rotom would even be better. Uh,
Yeah, the road it would be 100%.
Moving on into the psychic Pokemon, we have Banette here, sorry, Oricorio here. I was looking at the wrong card, my bad. This card seems pretty crazy. I am a big fan of this kind of effect. It is 70 HP, single retreat, basic, psychic energy. Just one psychic energy does 20 damage. But if any of your Pokemon were knocked out the last turn by damage from an attack during the last turn, then this attack does 60 more damage. So for one energy, it's an 80 Revenge Blaster. That sounds pretty good in my opinion. I don't know. What's your opinion?
Yeah, this is a good tech. This is a nice little tech card. Probably a one of you throw in there can help you finish off a Pokemon they're not expecting. Drop it down that turn. One energy. Boom. 80. Pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah. Also, the artwork's pretty good, and I kind of like the little dance and the colors. That's cute.
True.
After that, we got Comfy over here. It's very cute. The We do want to give the disclaimer that the playability of this card is going to be very dependent on how relevant special conditions are going to be in this format. It seems as though they could be pretty relevant based on a lot of the things that we have seen in this set, but we don't have 100% knowledge on this, so who knows. Just want to put that disclaimer out. But all of your Pokemon that have any psychic energy on them recover from all special conditions, and they also cannot be affected by special conditions. So if special conditions are relevant, this is something to definitely keep in your back pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Again, another one little one of tech.
Yeah. And it's a basic, so like it's pretty easy to be able to just splash it in with things.
Yep.
I guess if you're already playing psychic energy, that is,
Yeah.
or if you're playing Giratina, I guess if you care about your Giratina not getting hit by special conditions. Moving on, we have Tapu Lele. Basic 90 HP, single retreat cost. Again, these are things that we all love to see. It's attack for a single energy, one psychic. It's a 20 damage snipe to one of your opponent's Pokemon for every energy on that Pokemon. So if they have two energy on, they take 40 damage. If they have one, they only take 20. If they got four, they'll take 80. I think this card's pretty sick. What's your opinion?
Yeah, it has potential. I don't know how much potential, but it has potential. Somebody will find some way to use it pretty well.
Hmm. Yeah, I could see this being like a pretty efficient like way to be able to clear off already softened up Pokemon, or to be
Yeah.
able to kind of be annoying. Because the Rotom that does 20 damage snipe, that one was already played. But if you have this and you're just like attacking their benched Giratina that's using its ability each turn, I mean, this is definitely better than just only doing 20. It does 20, then it does 40, then it does 60. I don't know. That scales up pretty decent.
Yeah.
Moving on, we then have Lunala EX. This is another one of that could be argued to be the best Pokemon in this set. This ability is crazy. Once during your turn, you may move all psychic energy from one of your benched psychic Pokemon to the active Pokemon. The active Pokemon doesn't have to be psychic, doesn't care. Um, yeah, 180 HP, one retreat cost, stage two, pretty good stats overall there. The attack is kind of whatever, three energy, 100. But this ability is insane.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is 100% meta defining. Um, I figure that it'll probably be paired with Mewtwo and Garatina, as we talked about before. This card will be very good with both of those Pokemon, so I'm very curious to see what happens with it.
Yeah, yeah. This seems very hype. I'm excited to play with Lunala. Um, that's all the psychic Pokemon that we're really going to be mentioning. Moving on into the fighting Pokemon, we have a pretty funny one here, in my opinion. I'm not 100% positive how to pronounce it. I think it's Conkeldurr, but it could be Conkeldurr, something like that. Um,
Yeah.
the attack is kind of whatever, 80 damage, 3 energy, sort of mid. Stage 2, 150 HP, not bad, 3 retreat. The ability is hilarious. If this Pokemon would be knocked out by damage from an attack, flip a coin. If heads, it is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10. So, if you're feeling really lucky, there's a world where your opponent literally just cannot fucking kill this Pokemon, and I just want to see this reality really badly. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. This card is such a goofy, funny card. I love it so much. I mean, unironically, this guy could just sit in the active and win the game by just flipping heads every single round. It's
Yeah,
so awesome.
yeah. This is super funny to me. I like this a lot. This also gets around even like Charizard doing 200. It just doesn't
Yep.
care.
Nope.
It's yeah. This thing. It's definitely got guts. That's a fact.
Yes, sir.
And no, that was not a Berserk reference. Anyways, moving on, we then have Passimian EX. This card is pretty fire too, in my opinion. The attack, 2 energy, 60 damage. Not bad. It's a basic, which is nice. It's 130 HP. Could be a little bit more. We've seen higher on basic EXs, but whatever. We're not going to hate on it. 2 retreat. It's okay. This ability is great, though. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from the opponent's Pokemon, you move all fighting energy from this onto one of your benched Pokemon. That just seems awesome. I am
Yeah.
excited to like smack with this thing a couple of times, have it KO'd, and then put up a new attacker that's immediately fully juiced up and just start wrecking face.
Yeah. Yeah. This card is so good. It's got so much. You can do so much with this card. Splash into whatever fighting deck you want to. This is 100% gonna be played in all fighting decks. It's just too good not to.
Yeah. And like one of the issues that fighting had for the longest time too is that there was like no real acceleration. It's like, what are you gonna Brock onto your Onyx? Wow, oh no.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
but this is something where you're not accelerating necessarily, but you're not losing that energy, and that's huge. That's like almost like not. That's almost like accelerating.
Yep.
Um. So yeah, this card's great. Huge fan. That's pretty much that on the fighting Pokemon. We could talk a little bit about the Lycan Rocks, but that's whatever. Um,
They're mid.
they're mid. Yeah, this the Blood Fang one. This one seems a little bit better, but still, I'm not too excited about it realistically. Um, moving into the Dark type Pokemon, we immediately have Alolan Muck EX. This card's very interesting. 160 HP, stage 1, 3 retreat. Not bad stats, we've seen worse. This is pretty decent. Um 3 energy, 2 dark and a colorless. It does 80 damage. And then 1 special condition from among asleep, burned, confused, paralyzed, and poison is chosen at random. And then the opponent's active Pokemon is affected by that special condition. and any special conditions that are already affecting that Pokemon cannot be chosen. So this is cool because three of these five special conditions can immediately impact the way that your opponent is able to attack. Two of them can just straight up prevent them from being able to like do effectively anything during that next turn. Um,
Yeah.
with paralyze and sleep being what we're referring to. Confusion is the third one that's pretty decent. Um, there is a way to be able to make this a little bit more consistent too, which we might as well just go over really quickly because there's a tool card that was introduced, Poison Barb. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an attack from the opponent's Pokemon, that attacking Pokemon is now poisoned. So pretty much you can pretty consistently guarantee that poison isn't going to be part of this wheelhouse here, which means that 3 out of 4 special conditions that you can inflict, that you can guaranteed inflict, by the way, no coin flip, um, will affect the opponent's how the opponent is able to play with their active Pokemon. Um, I don't know how good this is going to be, but this is 1,000% going to see play, and I'm gonna try this out.
Yep. This will be a fun one. It's random, but again, like you mentioned, the spike bar makes it not so random. 80 damage is pretty decent. Stage 1 is not terrible. 3 energy is not terrible. 3 retreat cart. Retreat cost is kind of terrible, but
Yeah.
it could be really good if you get lucky. Again, it's kind of like the Conkeldurr. If you flip a lot of heads, if you get paralyzed or asleep and they get tails, this could be a really good card.
hmm Plus, you don't also necessarily have to use the poison barb. There's also Grafai from
No.
the last set, and there's also well, Wheezing would be a little bit worse since Wheezing has to be in the active spot. But still,
Yeah.
there's things. Um,
Oh yeah.
uh, with the theme of special conditions, since we're still here, moving on to Absol, this also cares about special conditions. It's 80 HP basic, 1 retreat cost. We love those stats for 1 prize pointer. Um, Unseen Claw for a dark and a colorless does 20 damage, but if the opponent's active Pokemon has any special condition on it, it's doing 80 damage. That
Yep.
seems awesome. I'm a fan of this. What are your thoughts?
Very good. Solid. I mean, 80 for 2, hard to beat.
hmm
So this is going to be playable in any special condition deck. And there's a lot of them with dark. So
Yeah, and as a
take your pick.
basic, a 1 prize basic, this seems excellent. Um, yeah, and again, like we were even mentioning, like you play Grafia, you play like the poison point or the poison barb or whatever it is. You play like these different things, and it's just activating this effect all the time.
Yep.
Um, that's pretty much it for the dark Pokemon. We could mention Toxapex a little bit. It's kind of more of an honorable mention because coin flips and stuff. Flip 4 coins, 20 for each head. It's a single energy. This is something that you could also have in those sort of decks with like the Muck and the uh Absol and stuff. You put like the poison point on this or whatever. It's like not terrible. I don't know. I don't think it's too crazy though.
If you get lucky.
If you get lucky, that's always the thing. And then still in that theme of coin flips here, we got the Alolan Doug Trio, 2 metal energy, 70 damage. You flip a coin until you get tails, and it's 70 for every head. So if you're like me, it's not going to do any damage. But if you're like my buddy Rowan here, this thing goes to the moon.
Hey, if you're lucky, baby, flip those coins, win that game. Let's go.
Let's grow. But on a more serious note for Pokemon to go over, Klefki here, this seems great. 10 damage, draw card, single energy. It's a basic, 1 retreat cost, 70. This is just a good card. I don't know.
Good start.
We've
Good
seen
starter.
Sigilif. We've seen these sorts of Pokemon be playable. This is just a starter Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah, not much else to say there. Solgaleo here. This card, this is another one where it's hard. You could make a good argument that this is the best Pokemon in this set. Also, we've said that a
Yeah.
couple of times, but each of these Pokemon have been crazy, to be honest. Um, this thing, stage 2, 180 HP, 2 retreat cost, not bad, pretty good there, obviously. This ability though, once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you can switch it with your active Pokemon. Anyone who played back in the old days of Pokemon and Boundaries Crossed, you'll know what card I'm thinking of here. Keldeo EX. That's right, baby. We got to switch in.
We finally did. I mean, it's got a solid attack. It's stage two, but we have rare candy, so it's fine. Two retreat cost is actually pretty good. This card is just solid. It's going to see play. It's going to have decks around it. It's
Oh,
pretty good.
absolutely. And this attack, like 120 damage, 2 energy, and then like what? You're only doing 10 damage to yourself? Boo hoo, who cares?
Yeah. No, it's so good.
Yeah, this card is great. This card is I'm 100% trying to get Soul Galio's first thing cuz I want to play this first.
Yep.
Um and then another hitter here in metal actually, Magirna. 90 HP basic, 1 retreat. Again, we love seeing these sorts of stats. It's just awesome every single time. And then
Yep.
2 metal, 40 damage, but if the opponent's active Pokemon has an ability, it's 80 damage. Pretty good.
Yeah, this is a solid attacker, straight up. The one theme this set I've noticed is that they have a lot of basics that are one prizers that are quite good.
Yes, I'm a big fan of that.
I am as well.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the metal Pokemon there. Funnily enough, actually had several hits out of the metals, but there was also very few metal Pokemon. But
Yeah,
whatever.
it was like 7.
Yeah, literally, like wow. Um, Going into Dragon here, there's pretty much only one we're gonna talk about. It's Drampaw. Um, Good old Drampaw. 2 retreat cost, basic 100 HP, not bad, pretty decent. 2 colorless energy though, 20 damage, and then if any of your benched Pokemon have damage on them, just any damage on them, it does 70 damage total for 2 energy. I mean, you could splash this and literally anything, and this is kind of
Yep.
a little outrager, you could say.
Yep. It's a fun little splash card.
Um, I don't know how playable it's actually going to be. The one downside, which you could argue is sort of an upside also, but I don't know if it's really an upside, is that this is a dragon type. So, it's not getting hit by weakness. Nothing's hitting this thing for weakness, but we're also not hitting anything for weakness.
Yep.
So this is an awkward one where, typically you're splashing things in to be able to cover up a weakness or be able to hit something. That's not really doing it. So who knows how good it's actually going to be. I don't know. Um,
Yep. We'll see.
we'll see. Moving into the colorless, we got Delcatty. This is a very interesting card. 90 HP, stage 1, 1 retreat, good stats. A single colorless energy, it does 30 damage, and then you're gonna be taking a colorless energy from your energy zone and attaching it to one of your any of your benched Pokemon. Doesn't matter what type it is, what stage any of your benched Pokemon, you're accelerating onto it. But you're accelerating a colorless energy. Now, this is using a colorless energy to attack, so this can be splashed and accelerate any kind of attacker, which is really exciting. However, it's also still fairly frail. It's a stage 1. It's accelerating colorless, which I mean technically helps you use your attacks, but it isn't helping with a lot of it. I don't know. This is a weird one. What's your take?
Yeah, the fact that it's stage 1 probably makes this not playable, but the fact that it can technically be splashed into any deck kind of gives it a little bit of playability. I don't think it's that great, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Moving on in the colorless, we then have Oranguru. This is a funny one. This is another one that's kind of hard to be able to like exactly judge how good it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be particularly amazing, but I mean maybe this is able to buy enough time. 'Cause what this does is for 2 colorless energy, you do 40 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon not only cost a colorless more, Their retreat cost is also a colorless more, and so this is a very disruptive attack. It could just completely screw over an opponent's Pokemon for a turn, not have them be able to really do anything. But it's really only for that one turn, because it's not like this effect stacks. It's not like you do this 2 times in a row and it's like, oh, now it's 2 more retreat and 2 more. Like, no.
Yep.
What's your take?
Yeah. I mean, there's really not much to add to it. It's just kind of a funny little card. Again, another splashable card. Probably not that playable.
Yeah, yeah. And then that's the last Pokemon that we're actually going to be talking about. Moving into the items and trainers, there's a bunch of exciting ones here, actually. One specifically that we'll get to in a second. Big Malasada here. Heal 10 damage and remove a random special condition. Hey, I mean, if special conditions become a big issue, we got an item to be able to help with that. That seems pretty decent. And it's a little heal card. Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just solid all the way around.
Probably going to be played in like the 18 or 16 trainer decks, stuff like that, you know.
Yep. Every single one of them.
Yeah, it's like a one of, I would think. Yeah.
Yep.
Fishing net, we already kind of went over. This is going to be the thing that really makes Wishy Washy more playable, I would think. Big excited for this. Very cool. Rare candy. They did it. The Mad Lads actually did it. If anyone has played the TCG, you know how huge rare candy is for stage twos.
Yep.
This is I kid you not, this is fucking massive. This is there's a reason why earlier I kept on saying that those certain Pokemon were probably the best Pokemon in the set. This is the best card in the set, and I don't think it's close.
Yep. Hands down.
For those who can't read or who are lazy or whatever, you choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a stage 2 in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, then you can immediately put it onto that basic Pokemon and evolve it, just straight skipping the stage 1. The only downside is that you cannot use this card during the first turn of the game or on a basic Pokemon that was just put into play. Because, you know, they still got to be in play for a turn in order to evolve. So, makes sense. Um, but if that's the only downside, yeah, this is. I didn't know if they would literally just print rare candy into this game, but they literally just printed rare candy into the game. They didn't even really change the wording on it. Um, yeah, this is now the best card in the set. This is arguably one of the best cards in the game.
Oh yeah. This card is a game changer. Everybody go back through every single set they've ever printed. Go look for the stage twos that weren't so good because it was a stage two. It's now probably pretty good because it's a stage two and we have rare candy.
Yeah. Actually, oh shit, kind of off the cuff, but bro, we should do a video of like reviewing stage 2s now that this card's out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess a little sneak peek. We'll do a video reviewing stage 2s. But yeah, this card is fucking insane. This is massive. This is the
Yep.
I couldn't have asked for anything more. I'm so excited about Rare Candy. I could gush and gush on and on. But we're gonna continue because we got a video going. Rotom decks. This is a bad card. We're look at the top card of your deck. You can shuffle your deck after. Who fucking cares? Don't play this. Play better cards. Just do yourself a
Yep.
favor. Just play better cards. You can do better. Trust me. Poison Barb. We already went over this card a little bit. This is super playable. This is gonna be great. I think even in decks that don't care necessarily about special conditions. Like imagine, Rowan and I talked a little bit about this before the video. Imagine putting this on a Druddigon and how annoying that's gonna be.
Yep. This card is just a really good annoying ass card, and there's a lot of special condition Pokemon that are better with special conditions on the enemy's active. The fact you can get it for free with this is pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. This is super playable. Hopefully you won't need to craft two. Hopefully you can just pull them. Um,
Yep.
Leaf Cape. This is also another great card. This is the one that we were talking about a little bit earlier. This makes just grass Pokemon better. Just grass Pokemon this is attached to has 30 more HP. I mean, 10 more HP than Giant Cape gives, but that's a big deal. That's a pretty
Yep.
big deal. Um,
Yep.
like this thing with Decidueye, now Decidueye has 200 HP. That's pretty relevant.
Yeah. It makes Meowscarada and any of the other grass Pokemon, Celebi, any of them, so good.
So much better. Yeah, this is an instant add into grass decks. Your grass Pokemon now even harder to kill. Combined with Erica,
Yep.
combined with yeah, just so much beef. All the beef. Welcome to Arby's.
Yeah, they're
Acerola, this card, if you guys noticed, we didn't mention Palossand or Mimikyu, and that's because those cards don't seem all that great realistically. The Mimikyu is a bit more playable, I guess. But so yeah, this card's kind of whatever. We're just gonna skip over it. I think this is probably the worst train or supporter trainer in the set. I don't
Yep.
think this card's that great. Um, Ilima, put one of your colorless Pokemon that has damage on it into your hand. This is very good. This is a very playable effect. What's your take, bud?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of Pokemon throughout all the sets, Arceus EX included,
Mm-hmm.
that could benefit very heavily from this. And depending on the deck, this might be an absolute game changer. This could probably make decks with certain cards. So I'm excited to see where it goes with this one.
Yeah. And a little thing that we mentioned a little bit before we started doing the video was Barry with Snorlax has already seen successful competitive play in the past. The fact that now Snorlax has kind of another tool to just be even more annoying, like you can get some big hits with Snorlax and then you just
Yep,
pick the big boy up and all of your opponent's turns were kind of just wasted attacking it. I don't know. That could be good.
agreed.
Uh, Kiawe. I probably totally butchered that. I'm so sorry. Anyone who's Hawaiian or whatever. I think it's Hawaiian. I don't know. Um, I don't know how to say this guy's name. I'm gonna say it's Kia, like the car company.
Kia,
So Kia,
Kia away.
Kiawe. Actually, wait, that might be it. Hold up. Choose one of your Alolan Marowak or Turtonator. Take 2 fire energy from your energy zone, attach it to that Pokemon, and then your turn ends. So the downside, kind of, your turn does end, but double fire energy acceleration, pretty huge. And like we were kind of saying with the Turtonator, like turn one, open up Turtonator, use this. It's immediately got 2 energy. You turn ends, and then your turn two, you just attach, do 90 every turn. Ah, man, you're just gonna run people out of the game.
Yeah, that makes Turtonator quite a good card. Same with the Marowak.
Oh yeah, and it makes the Marowak way better too, way more consistent. After that, we got Guzma. I'm very excited that they printed this kind of an effect into the game because I feel like this was inevitable, especially as they continue printing
Yep,
more tools and stuff. This just discards
100%.
all Pokemon tools attached to all of your Pokemon, all of your opponent's Pokemon. Sorry. Um, yeah, this is an amazing effect. That's something that we've been needing.
Yeah, it's such a good card.
You're
It
you.
will be played in. It's probably a good one of tech in most decks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like imagine all the times where you were like about to KO like your opponent's Pokemon, but because it had a giant cape, they lived. Well, imagine getting rid of the giant cape and then your supporter just got you a prize before you even attacked.
Yep.
Sounds pretty busted to me. I don't know. Um, Lana, thank God, an easy name. Holy shit. Um, you can use this card only if you have an Araquanid in play. So this is boss's orders, or this is a Pokemon catcher, is what this effect is for anyone who knows. Just switch in one of your opponent's benched Pokemon to the active. You get to choose. This is an incredibly powerful effect. The issue is Araquanid is not that hot, and I don't think it's worth
Yep.
it to play like a 1-1 or a 2-2 Araquanid line or whatever just to have this card when we also already have like Cyrus and Sabrina and stuff.
Yeah. I could not agree more.
Like, yeah, this is technically a more powerful effect, but I feel as though the versatility that you get with like your deck and the things that you can do, it's just I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be great.
I would agree.
Sophocles, pretty certain that's how we say his name. This
Yep.
guy is pretty cool. This is the dude we kind of mentioned, where like your Vikavolt and your Togedemaru's, and I guess your Alolan Golems. It's not worth playing it though. They do more damage. I mean, more damage is cool. I think it's probably just gonna be best with the Vikavolt, although the Togedemaru is not bad as a basic, I guess. Um,
Agreed.
Mallow, heal all damage from one of your Shiinotic or Serena. So, and you probably shouldn't play Shiinotic. It doesn't seem that amazing. So basically, you're Serena, and if you do, you discard the energy. But Serena has a single energy for its attack, so you just attach the energy back onto it. Who cares? It's now fully healed. I think this is good. I think this is gonna make Serena pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah. This card with plus Serena is very good.
Um, and then finally, last but certainly not least, good old Lily. Our lovely Alola waifu. I don't know, whatever. Heal 60 damage from one of your stage 2 Pokemon. I mean, pretty simple, cut and dry. Healing 60 is a
Yeah,
lot too. Like that's pretty good.
it's solid.
Like that's like triple potion. This is double Pokemon Center lady. This is
Yeah.
an Irida plus a potion.
Yeah, I mean, this card, also the fact that there's so many stage twos that are going to be getting played, this is going to be in a lot of decks, 100%.
Absolutely. I could see this being like a one of and pretty much I would think most, maybe all stage 2 decks.
Yeah, yep,
Like 60 is just so much to heal. It's kind of crazy.
agreed.
Um and that's it. Congrats. That's the list. These are the regular full arts, and like kind of go through that a little bit. And then like the full art EXs, and then like the full art trainers, and the rainbows look incredible. My god. And it's cool that we have our first immersive trainer supporters instead of them doing the immersive like Solgaleo and Lunala like everyone was expecting. Um
Yes, sir.
Shinies are back again. You can pull shinies. There's a full arts of the EXs from Genetic Apex, which is actually kind of hype, I think. Yeah, this is a great set. Uh Rowan, final thoughts?
Yeah, it's got a lot of meta defining cards. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how the meta game shifts towards a lot more stage twos. I'm very excited.
Any specific highlights or things that you want to shout out or that seem most impressive to you? Like what's your number one pick, you think?
Number one pick for card is definitely Rare Candy. Number one pick for Pokemon is I'm gonna go Conkeldurr because I really want it to work.
I like that pick. That's a great pick. Yeah, I want that to work too. Um, yeah, I agree with your thoughts here. I think that this is a great set. This is gonna have a big impact on the meta, 100%. Even if it's literally just rare candy, but I think it's gonna be more than rare candy. That's
Oh
still
yeah,
huge. Um, yeah, I agree with you. Best card's obviously rare candy, but as far as like the best Pokemon is concerned, I think I'm gonna do a weird one. I'm gonna give it to Pissimian.
hell yeah.
I think
Simeon's quite good.
I think this sort of an effect is really sick. I really like the flexibility that this kind of gives. I think that this is going to allow for really cool like deck building. And it's something that fighting specifically has been really, really wanting. Like they've been forced to just use like cheaper attackers and kind of try and be more efficient. And obviously it's good and it's been working. But this allows for more flexibility. We can look at like bigger things or like 3 energy attackers more realistically.
Yes, sir.
Um, Yeah, I'm gonna give it to that. Is it actually the best card? Probably not. It's probably actually Lunala or the Solgaleo, but I'm gonna give it to Pissimian.
I love it.
Um, yeah, that's pretty much it, everyone. This is the set. Best of luck on your polls. I hope that you get every single rainbow full whatever it is that you're wanting. I don't know. Blessed be your polls. That's that.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for watching.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Oh, and a good luck with the new ranked season that's going to be coming out. Hopefully you can get Master Ball or just at least Ultra Ball cuz fuck, Master Ball is so many games. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, it is.
All right. All right. Peace out. Thanks, guys.
Later.